Hello there, my crypto friends, and welcome back to another episode of TA with MK. My name is MK. Today's episode is going to be just a little bit shorter. We're just going to quickly discuss the SPX, or the S&P 500, what it did today, what we're expecting for tomorrow, or at least I guess hoping for tomorrow, leading into the weekend here in the United States. Friday, obviously we know that's when the stock market closes, so we're going to discuss kind of what we're looking for out of that. Quickly, Bitcoin and its chart and what it's been doing over the past few days to weeks, as well as what plan A and plan B will be for it going forward, and into the weekend. And then I'm just going to go over one coin that I've been watching. I haven't talked about a lot of coins on the channel recently, as we've obviously been in a downtrend. But I think this one's a little bit of a safer play, so I'm going to go over that chart with you. And if you guys are liking the content, please remember to like and subscribe, and let's go. It's TA with MK. It's TA with MK. Now, as promised, we're going to start on the 1 hour chart here for the S&P 500, or the SPX. Just wanted to quickly kind of go over what price action did today. Pretty simple, but it was kind of what we were looking for potentially. So when it broke out of this large falling wedge that we've been tracking for a few weeks now, it broke out to the upside, of course, which that pattern had a 68% chance of doing, so that was good. We mentioned that this red zone that I have up here, marked in this red with this red line, this red horizontal line, was going to be key resistance. And what we were hoping for is that it could potentially, if it got rejected the first try, that it could put in some sort of a double bottom, flip previous resistance, which was this resistance here, as support. And that's exactly what it did. Kind of had its own little tiny falling wedge, right? It broke out of that, and just at the end of the day today, it peaked its head above the resistance. So basically what we're looking for going into tomorrow, and I also put up here just a picture of what the pre-markets, I mentioned in a previous video that I like to look at what the pre-markets are doing. Typically if they're very green, that's a good sign for the at least the start of the next day, and if they're very red, that usually means there's going to be a little bit of a pullback. Now it's way too early right now. It's I think it's like 7 p.m. Here in the United States where I'm at least. So we've got 12 hours from now before the actual stock market opens. So I usually check this in the morning, about 30 minutes before the stocks open, just to kind of see if it's still green, still red, or neutral, to get a little bit of an edge or an idea of what price action is going to do. But what we're looking for, or hoping for I should say, just for everything as far as stocks go, and crypto and Bitcoin to have some upside potentially going into the weekend, is for this to just stay above this tomorrow. It's going to be fine if it goes up a little bit, starts putting in some sort of a pattern where maybe a double bottom is here at support. We just need this zone that I've been speaking about for a while, that has all these different touches back here, where it was support, 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 support. It lost it here and it became resistance, which led to this downtrend. And we've been discussing this, so nothing new, right? But we just need this to get flipped as support, because if so, then I would imagine we'd make a push up to my next zone of key resistance, which is this orange line that I've marked right here with some arrows showing that back here it was resistance, 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 support back here before a pretty good size run up. So that's what we'll be tracking with the SPX going into tomorrow. Now, we're not going to dive too deep into the Bitcoin analysis today. We are on the 4 hour chart right now. I just wanted to briefly discuss kind of what we've been tracking over the past several days, maybe even the last week or two. Now, basically, Bitcoin, after it had its large pullback, it started to consolidate, more or less sideways within this descending triangle, where you had resistance on the top, and then, the support level was more or less the same area that it kept bouncing from, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different times, but it kept putting in lower highs. So eventually it got compressed, and around the 70% area, it broke to the upside. We even put a measured move for that it hit the target. This is something I posted within my Telegram group, but just wanted to show you that that was kind of expected. Plus, on here on the 4 hour chart, these 200 MAs acted as resistance. And now, we pulled back, and then you look at this little area, and it's like, is this going to turn out to be the retest? Because usually when you have a pattern break out, it's bullish to actually see a retest. The question is that going to be a legit retest? The way we would know is if price action comes down and puts in like a double bottom, maybe it even puts in a higher low at one of these other levels of support. So that's going to be what we're tracking with Bitcoin. Since it lost this area after it pumped up to like 32,600 or whatever it was, I guess it was 32,400-ish. at least here on the FTX chart. And then it came back and retested. Now at this point, this is a higher high up here than, you know, the last highs inside, like the, you know, these highs back here. It is higher. So now what you're looking for is a higher low. Now if this holds up as the higher low, then, you know, great. We do need to flip back over. You can see I've marked with these yellow arrows that this area of around 30,000, I want to say 650. Yeah, 30,650 has been resistance once, twice, 3, 4 times. So Bitcoin kind of, at least recently, has struggled with this zone. So we need to see that break back above that, flip it as support, and then hopefully put in another high that's higher than this previous high. But at any rate, if we do get a small pullback, the key is, can we hold this 29,300 or potentially even a little bit higher, you know, low at around 29,000, say 600 or 29,800, something in that zone to be bullish. If it could put in a low, higher low, and then push forward. So just that's what we'll be watching with Bitcoin, obviously, going into tomorrow. And, you know, most likely we'll just follow what the SPX does. So that'll give us clues as to how we want to trade over the weekend. And then just to finish up today's video, I wanted to quickly talk about KLV, which is Klever Finance. It's a coin that I've actually talked about in the past, and we had a pretty good trade with it a few months back. I think it was like March or something like that. It would have been this run right here. I didn't catch the whole run, but I was talking about it on my channel when it was back down kind of in the same level it is now, and that's why I'm watching it again. It's clearly back to this major support where previously it bounced once, twice. It consolidated right here, as I noted on the chart, for about 42 bars or 21 days, and then it exploded to the upside for like an 80% move. And I'm not expecting necessarily that same thing, but what I am liking about the chart is that it's just been in this really tight consolidation now for going on almost 3 weeks again, you know. So I'm kind of looking at that as, hey, if it does something similar as far as, you know, time frame as to last time, it could break out anytime basically. Obviously it's going to need the SPX to help and Bitcoin to help, but that's just what I have on my radar as kind of a lower risk play. If you want to pause the video and take a screenshot of, you know, what the chart looks like and what my targets are, I would plan initially to take pretty heavy profits at this first target at about 20%. I mean, in a bear market, which we're in right now, 20% is a pretty good gain. However, I would only probably take half my profits at that point, because I do believe that if this does break out and gets going, with how long it's been consolidating, you could easily see that 30 or 40% move out of it. And it's a lower risk play because you could just put a stop loss back down here about 10 or 15% below, you know, this major zone of support, whatever your risk tolerance is anyways. You don't want to be too tight, because otherwise you have things like this happen where it wicks down and get you. You know, something like this could even happen. So I often like to just set alerts down there rather than an actual stop loss, but, you know, stop losses can save you. But anyway, keep an eye on Klever Finance. And I guess that will wrap it up for today. If you guys are a sport fan like I am, I'm sure you're probably excited for the NBA Finals that start tonight between the Warriors and the Celtics. If you are a sports fan and you follow, you know, the channel, please leave me a comment in the comments section to let me know who you're rooting for, if you made it this far in the video anyway. And other than that, if you guys are enjoying the content, as always, remember to like and subscribe, and have a good rest of your day. It's tea.